This is a game store tour that I am very excited about because this is literally my favorite retro game store of all time. I have been coming to this store. This is my local retro game store, the Game Shack in Dunlap, Tennessee. I'm here today with the owner, Randy, and I've been coming to this game store for the last 8 years now. Randy's gonna take us on a tour around this amazing store. What are we looking at here? I see some consoles.
When we were at the cafe, we put the retro systems on the wall. So when you walked in the door, your average Joe would just walk in the door and go, I remember that.
Yes.
And so when I put it back over here, because the store was across the street for a while, and then I put it back over here, I decided that I was going to make this a focal point. So when they walked in, they would see the old Nintendo that they had. I try to keep this as full as I can with the older systems, and I try to make them as brand new as I can.
Yeah, I was gonna say they all look really clean. I mean, I can tell that you do some cleaning.
I purposefully quit doing repairs in the store for clients, and started only working on my own so that we have this kind of quality.
That looks great.
Where I've got time to really dig in and come up with product that is that nice. And of course, I keep the banger games that are for Super Nintendo and regular Nintendo up in this case.
I like those cases. You got those cases from GameStop, right?
I bought 5 GameStops out in the area, and with the displays and things and some of the games, but they really make for, I think these were originally DS cases, and they make for really nice display cases for some of the loose games.
So basically when people walk in, this is the first thing they're going to see. This is going to catch people's attention, but then when you just look further into the back of the store, I mean, you got a pretty big building here. It just it goes way back here, and there's a lot to see.
But the purpose was that you catch both. So you catch this, and then you catch the accessories for that. And then as soon as you turn, you're looking at, you have your old PlayStation,
a wall of games.
And then you have PS5 and Switch, which are your 2 top sellers for the new gen stuff. So you're not lost. So if you're walking in and this is all you're seeing, then you're kind of lost in your, well, I don't want. So you look and you've got all of your new grade stuff as well. N64, GameCube are the most sought after. Some of the banger games for the PlayStation. Of course, all of these. Anything you have that is Mario or Zelda based in these consoles is going to keep sold out.
If we keep going, there's like literally a wall. You have a wall of games that stretch across. So So tell us kind of what we're looking at as we go along here.
360. Pick your 360 game. Same thing for Xbox Original down there. Here are your Xbox Original games. A lot of tourism here, so they're seeing things that are like that. So its store is kind of a hybrid in the middle of nowhere, but there's a lot of tourism coming in because of the mountains and everything that's happening.
Yeah, see, folks watching, this is one thing that's really fascinating about the Game Shack is it's in a small rural town called Dunlap, Tennessee, that's nestled between 2 mountains, in a valley between 2 mountains, and it's really off the beaten path. I mean, it's not off any major interstate. It's kind of off the beaten path. So it's like this store, Randy, I consider your game store to be almost like a hidden gem game store.
Yeah, I appreciate that. On down here, PS2.
You've got a massive PS2 and PS3 selection.
PS2 rotates out probably as much as PS5, PS4 does. I believe it. Same thing for 360. It's just one of those things where people still love the game. Really good Wii selection here, because I mean, you know, the Wii has a lot of shovelware, just crap games, but I mean, I'm actually seeing quite a few good titles. The number 1 selling console in the store is the Wii. Really? I sell more Wiis than I do PS5s, PS4s, anything that is there, Switches, I sell more Wii. It's a $100 all day long console. Never would have guessed that. Trying to get into doing more of the new product like this. Train sets and car tracks and like slot car. The old wooden toys like jacks. Most people, things that are new that fit the retro thing. It took me forever to get the Gala account for doing kites. Yeah. Pick and choose, like, you know, the three guys that do this, the three brothers, they make these. It's easy for me to buy them and do it. So instead of carrying and breaking down and building my own box sets anymore. Manga has done well for me. I would have never thought it, but I had a buddy of mine who says you should get into trying to find manga.
Do you have good margins on these?
Yes, they're fair. I'm not making a killing. Like Magic, anything that is, like I said, my margins are low, but if I move it, I'm okay. I don't usually get stuck with it, so I'm pretty good. But I try to keep a little bit of Warhammer in here. I'm trying to launch a little bit of the Warhammer here. There's a place upon
Warhammer's hot.
Yeah. It's just very pricey to get into, and we live in a town that doesn't really have a lot of money.
Right.
So it's something that I keep in here. Warhammer people are really great to me. They've helped me with a lot of stuff. But doing things like that.
Trading cards.
Dice. I can't keep Magic cards in here.
I'll bet.
I just ordered another 9 boxes today. Pokemon the same way. It moves right along. It does well.
Now tell me about the middle aisle here, because there's a lot going on here. I mean, from what I can see, it's mostly some of the more modern games.
Right. Most everything in the center of the store I did for Xbox One and up. So I purposefully did that because if I'm going to use this retail space, I want people to be able to. It's like over there. If you have a PS3, you're not shopping anymore. Hey, do you have a copy of Dishonored or whatever you're looking for? You have a copy? Of course I do. And then you walk over. I tell them it's in alpha order. That's why I'm so crazy about keeping everything in alphabetical order, so I can walk right up to it. But these, I want people to be able to shop still, because a lot of people still come in and buy an Xbox One for the first time, and I try to face everything so that they can shop. But in order to do this, you remember everything in here was with all of that, and I was letting them shop with that, and it didn't make any sense. So I wanted to spread all of the new gen stuff out, and this is really not new gen anymore.
Right.
But I mixed the X in with this because it's all backward compatible, and the same thing for the PS4. I mixed the PS5s in with that.
Yeah. N64 selection here too. I mean, you even have a copy of Snowboard Kids too, and I don't see that game at game stores very often. No. It's a hard to find title.
This rolls in and out all the time. I get these. This is like, nobody ever trades one game anymore. They come in with a whole bunch of them, and it's either a day of cleaning or whatever, but they either come in with a bunch of great games or a bunch of junk, but nobody ever just comes in with one game anymore. Yeah. So I end up buying a bunch. At this time, I'm fat on terrible titles. But, I'm waiting on somebody to walk in, and I pay for those. I really go after, I don't mind spending money on something that I know is going to move.
Yeah, so you don't just sell video games, you sell music.
Yeah, the guitar, the closest place where you can get strings, picks, capos, things like that, anything that has to do with music is an hour away in any direction. The guitar stuff in here, I try to keep it to where the everyday person, you can get a starter guitar or you can get a pro guitar in here. So you can spend, you can get a Les Paul or you can get a Squier and something of that nature, so that it works that well. In here we have all of the loose, which are Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, PSP, some of the boxed Sega Genesis, some of the banger games for PlayStation I keep in here that I can't keep on the floor.
Yeah.
Down here, handhelds, Switch, anything from like the Galaxy 3DS, Switch, loose controllers, things of that nature. Some of the cooler, I mean, Dreamcast shouldn't be something that is hard to find, but for around here they are. Yeah. And to find one that's not all yellowed is really cool.
Yeah. So tell me about your philosophy when it comes to PS5 and Switch games and what you carry in the store, because I love the way you do it. I feel like is the way most game stores should do it.
I built the idea of, if you come into a game store, you should see something that you've not seen before.
Yes.
Even for somebody who's experienced gamer, and they do that. And it's like, why not have? So I went after, strange titles like Noob or.
I've never heard of this game before in my life.
Yeah, I mean, just strange games, and I really went over the top. I was able to find a lot more, and I try to keep the price in the 35 and under range if I can, because it makes it more affordable. But I do that for PS5, and I did the same thing with Nintendo Switch. I do not go after Pokemon or Mario or Zelda or anything Lego or anything Sonic, because it's gonna walk in the door. They're very popular games with the community. So 8 doors, what is that? What is The Last Worker? You know, what is Arachnoid? What is, I mean, I wanted people to have a choice and to sit there and to Google it and to go on the phone and look.
Okay, so the first thing I want to look at are the DS games, because I have been collecting pretty heavily for the DS, and I want to see if there's anything here that I need for the collection. All right, so I dug through the DS games. I actually found a few DS games I want to add to the collection. Puss in Boots, it's a licensed game. Might not be that good, but it is a THQ game, and it looks interesting, so I'll take it, and it's only $7. I'll take a chance on that. ATV Wild Ride, according to the front of the case, Games Abyss gave it a 9.5 out of 10, but this is the one that I really want to get, the Sonic Classic Collection on the DS. This has 4 Sonic games on one cart. I'm gonna grab 3 Switch games today. Tanuki Justice, this is a game I've actually wanted for a long time. It looks like a really badass side-scrolling action-adventure indie game. This game I've never heard of before. It's called Potion Permit. I looked up some reviews of it, and it got really good reviews. It's some kind of like action RPG where you're like a potion maker or something like that. And then the Wonder Boy collection. 4 Wonder Boy games in one, and I love the Wonder Boy games. Awesome game series, and that's an awesome package. So I'm gonna take a look at the PS5 games next and see if there's anything there that catches my eye. A lot of great PS5 titles here. I'm trying to find something that caught my eye. I did find one game that caught my eye. It's called Welcome to Slaycation Paradise. First off, front cover's really badass, very eye-catching, but it's a twin-stick shooter. Got really good reviews, so I'm gonna grab that. Dug through the Game Boy Color games. I'm gonna grab Pocket Bomberman. If I remember correctly, and please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure that this is a Bomberman game that plays like an old-school Zelda game, but with Bomberman mechanics. I'm gonna be walking out of here with a lot of really good stuff, some retro, some modern. You gotta check this store out. This is my hometown local retro game store. And if you do come by to visit, shoot me a message on Instagram and Twitter. If I'm available, I might come down here and meet you and say hi as you check out the store.